Hello and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. You're gathered with us for the Cookout podcast where we talk about what's cooking up in professional wrestling. And oh boy, howdy, it's spicy.
Whoo!
Yeah, woo! Is about how I feel about it too. So New Year's Evil was tonight, and Evil has returned to WWE.
It never left. It never left. I don't understand why folks don't seem to realize this was always his plan. Always his plan. He just was like, I'll let them have hope. I'll let them. I'll give them some energy. And now,
Is there a case against him at all?
yeah, I believe so.
There is?
I believe civilly they filed multiple cases. Last time I had heard, it's Vince.
Money solves problems.
Ooh. I'm trying to not laugh for real. Because if they sold it to Saudi Arabia, the poor Sami Zayn, the poor women, it's oh god.
Yeah. But it is what it is. I assumed it would be sold to India, not Saudi Arabia.
I can see it going to Saudi Arabia. I can see it going private. And I still stand on Vince buying it back for very cheap. So that he maintains all that he wanted without really doing too much. I find it hilarious. I should not, but
I mean, that's if Saudi would want to sell it back, though. If Saudi buys it.
This is why they kept Tyson Fury so close. Everybody thought that whole little bit at the end of Clash of the Castle was weirdly supposed to be cut. They didn't cut it. Now we all.
Have you heard from Anika?
No, I emailed her the link. So hopefully, this is how is January so wild, so early,
right? And all the shows have been pretty good.
What did they give Vince? What type of crappy macrame gift did they give him for him to be like, I'm going to come back now?
It's beyond me.
Oh, Vince. We're supposed to be talking about top 5 villains, and I don't know if we have one bigger than Vince McMahon.
I mean, let me check ALW's list here.
His number one is kind of close.
Oh, ALW didn't have Vince in his list.
Well, that was before. Oh no, the news had broken. So yeah, maybe he's. I don't know. Who? So let's go. Let's do ALWs.
Just number 5.
Yeah. Number 5 is Jake Roberts for ALW.
Which, solid pick. I love me some Jake Roberts. Not just beating a guy, but then tossing a snake on top of him after the match is already over.
But Jake Roberts in the ring wasn't necessarily evil. He was just chaotic.
That is fair.
It's like Freddy Krueger. He's not the old Freddy Krueger. He wasn't evil. He was just chaotic. But for my number five, I would have to go. Oh, can we do a faction or no?
I don't think we can. No.
Okay.
But
I am going to go then with Cody. I
okay.
maintain Cody was a heel for most, if not all, of his AEW run. And he never turned once they left New Japan and ROH and had those matches, whatever. Cody is my number five heel, like greatest villain, because he just was so manipulative and it was so nice.
Uh, so I had a tie for number 5, and so what I ended up doing was just saying, "See you later, number 4," and made one of my fives my number 4.
So who's your number five?
My number 5 is Bull Nakano.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a solid five. That's a solid five.
But I couldn't choose between Bull and the other one, so I was like, you know what, number 4. I talk about you enough. I don't.
Well, who do you have for number four then?
My number 4 was. You catch that?
No, I didn't.
Switchblade. The whole turning on Chaos, taking Okada's number 1 right-hand man away from him. Chaos has basically not recovered since. And then he basically ousted the Elite from the Bullet Club, basically.
Mm. And then he did get rid of Tom, like the.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Yeah.
He
I
was my
agree.
number 4, but I talk about him so much, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take you off the list, buddy.
I agree with you on number four. I agree with you. Mm,
Now the
actually, I'm gonna
4.
take that back. I'm gonna take it back.
Well, I actually made him my number 6. He was my number 4, but
Well, who's number four?
my number 4 is Vader.
Like Big Van Vader?
Yes, that was an era for wrestling, and it was so good with his work in HAPW. Did another bombshell drop?
Yeah. Sources say WWE has been sold to Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. The company will go back to being private. Unknown if Vince McMahon will return to head of creative, but it is expected by some people.
But Saudi could just say, "Nah, fuck that. We want Paul." The last 6 months have been pretty good.
Shit.
Saudi has the power now.
Oh shit.
Like, Vince took the reins and immediately handed it over to Saudi. Let's see what Saudi does with him.
Oh shit.
Crazy. Crazy.
Oh my god.
This is all happening so quick.
Yo. Between Vince retiring to Brawl Out to end with Vince coming back to sell the company to the Saudis.
Like 2022 was crazy. 2023 is on its way to be an even more wild year for professional wrestling. Well on its way.
You remember how like 2019 was like bumpy in like the beginning, and then it got really bad towards the end. 2020 started off like, oh, okay, we'll be okay, and then it just went over the like whole cliff.
And then
And
they
then
fired like half
2021
the
happened.
roster.
Oh god,
It's
oh my
wild.
god,
Here goes 2023.
how the fuck, how do you thi- I want to go back to when the only thing that we were thinking about was, did the elite super kick open the door?
Right? Right?
Dude.
Can't we go back to those simple times?
Oh god. Oh god. Whew. Well, um, no, number four was Vader. I I don't see Vader as a villain.
Well, you're an
Um,
American.
True, but I also like I saw Vader wrestling and I was like, "Boo, Vader!" But then he was Frankie's dad on Boy Meets World, and I was like, "Oh, he's so sweet." So that
You got to
colors.
remember that like Antonio Inoki was their fucking hero. And in
Uh,
comes this American with a wild mask and just bodies their hero,
but
demolishes him.
but see, if I think about that, then I have to remember what Vince did, and then it just hurts. It hurts
When Vader went over to
when he went to WWE and or WWF, and it just
he pissed off Sean.
that was like the worst time ever.
Yeah, and there's one thing you could not do: piss off Sean.
Fuck Sean.
Brett was the best wrestler in the world. He pissed off Sean.
Sean. Now you know what? That's honestly why Shawn Michaels has my number four villain slot, and it has like nothing to do with wrestling. And honestly, because the rest of my list has to actually do with wrestling, that's why he's number four. If it was strictly on not wrestling, it would he Michael Hickenbottom. I cannot at this point I cannot stand Michael Hickenbottom, and I would love for him to just not ever. Thanks so much, Michael. It's your fault. Vince's favorite blonde on NXT got fired, and now he's back. See? See
I
what
still
you did?
prefer him over Goldberg.
If he had not gotten rid of Mandy Rose, we would not be in this problem.
Are you saying it's all because of that?
Yes. Yes, I am.
I didn't realize that.
It's all because of that.
But why?
Because he liked seeing what she had for content for free, and then he go look again when he paid for it. And then Sean took it away. And now, between that, the Christmas gifts, now we got Vince back. Could have been doing anything or anyone else. But now we get Vince back. ALW's number four is Vampiro. If you don't know who Vampiro is, What would you say for an American to watch if they're not into like lucha libre?
I mean, there was stuff with TNA, but like, why not just watch Lucha Underground and just like hear him talk instead of anything else?
Well, because there he's like Darby Allin before Darby Allin, but with like Jeff Hardy, RVD, Matt Riddle, tolerance for drugs built like Rodan.
Hmm.
So like
I
Lucha
don't have a
Underground,
problem myself with Vampiro, but a lot of people have personal problems with Vampiro.
Vampiro might be a dick in real life.
Oh yeah, I,
So
yeah, which some people are.
eh, hope for the best for him. All that good stuff. Moving on to number three.
I mean, an asshole is going to be an asshole. You can clean it up as much as you want. It's still going to be an asshole at the end of the day.
You could just say lipstick on a pig. Way. Really? Wow. Wow. Really? Really AOW? Okay. Okay. I'm 85% certain in real life he's a giant massive douche. I think he said it. Mm.
Well, Nika hasn't popped in yet.
I'm holding off on Stephanie until like number two. So let's do our number threes. And then if she's still not here,
All right, well, we can start off with ALW's number 3. We
he
got Abyss,
I
which
feel
I
some type
love
of way
Abyss.
about 3, 2, and 1 on this list because I feel like they're all secretly the same person.
With Abyss, I didn't so much as see him as being the evil one as much as I saw his manager being the evil one who was manipulating him.
He did have evil moments though when he was San's manager.
Fair.
But to be a number 3 level of evil, I don't know. I don't know.
He didn't crack my top 5.
Yeah, he wasn't when I thought of in my top 10, really. Like he was evil, but it really wasn't like Bully Ray put Mae Young through a table and like wasn't that level of evil. It was like chaotic evil. Who did you have for your number 3?
My number 3, I had the devil's favorite demon, Mayor Glenn Jacobs.
Glenn Jacobs did not wrestle in WWE ring.
Isaac Yankum.
The dentist before Britt Baker. Um, I I could see that. I could.
He was in a movie called See No Evil.
Just how they brought that to TV was so horrible. It worked,
Yeah.
and it really should not have.
No, it shouldn't.
May 19th. May 19th. Like, what type of subliminal, non-subliminal shit are you doing? Oh
You still
God!
remember though.
Because it was so creepy with the contact. But then when I think about the contact again, I think about him and Lita's baby, and like there was a fan page the other day that had Snitsky with the punt,
Mm-hmm.
and I just that was a time to be a fan.
Yeah, I feel the need to point out that was like over 15 years ago, and that like May 19th is still remembered. Like they only had to remind us for like 2 months before the movie came out, but no, that shit has stuck with us for almost 20 years.
Well, didn't he do like for a little while, May 19th, he would pop up and do stuff? It was kind of like him and what's his name? Pete Rose. Was it Pete
Hmm.
Rose? Where, you just kind of I still expect Pete Rose to pop up and Kane to pop out and, attack him for whatever reason. They never explained the reason, by the way. I could see that happening.
One of the best wedding crashers.
Oh, Kane. You come in, setting your brother on fire, steal girls, have children, electrocute Shane McMahon.
All right, so I had Citizen Kane. Who do you got for number 3?
Number 3, and it's just because of his overall career, Adam Cole.
I feel that.
I have yet to come across somebody who is so convincingly a douchey heel and yet still be a likable douchey heel. Everywhere. Like, how many companies can you just be that in and it not be weird or awkward or old?
Right?
Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole. Okay, so we put it off for a little while. I think we should pause here and talk about like the Stephanie thing. Because before WWE got sold, allegedly, Stephanie was like, I'm out. So, given that they were talking about, or they are saying they sold it to Saudi, do you think she knew before she resigned?
Probably. Because I think she also realizes what that means for the women's division.
Not just the women's division, but like the women employees.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Vince. I'm gonna say it. Shane has to be somewhere laughing hard as hell, and probably has not stopped laughing since news broke on what, Friday.
How much is Shane worth?
Hold on. According to Google, he is
Why
worth
do we have this?
100 million.
100 million?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that ain't close enough to buy the company.
Mm-mm. Oh, so they just out and out lying about the Vince, huh?
I'm trying to figure out how to change this background here.
Brand. I. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
With GCW.
Yeah.
So, given the fact that we now know that
Okay.
Stephanie has left, we know for certain. Saudi may have bought WWE. Is there a way that this could actually work out, in your opinion?
Yeah.
How?
I think one thing that they could do is they could actually like be one thing I would do is
Mm.
I would have Raw stay in North America, but I'd have SmackDown become a worldwide show. I would have an actual division to the rosters and have a brand split actually mean something.
How would that work for folks with families and those who are in relationships?
Well, that would depend on who goes to what brand. Like, you want to travel the world and be on a slightly bigger stage?
I see that ending in a lot more controversy than it does.
Uh,
I see controversy.
but it gives people option.
It does give people options. Maybe having their pay per views all be global and like have a week of shows or 2 weeks of
I
shows.
don't know because I mean the U.S. is pretty good about filling those stadiums.
Oh no, you wouldn't do a stadium. You would not do a stadium like for the first year or so. But like a few shows a year, make them international and have them in different places. Like your big four. Have your big four be international. That would be cool.
Like, I just feel like why not have Raw tour the Pacific Northwest, and then SmackDown can be touring Europe.
I hear you, but I don't know. I if it's thought by the Saudis, I don't see it working, especially if they take it back private. I don't see WWE continuing past 2024, and that's just because of the deals they already kind of have in place.
I mean, what I'm suggesting here isn't an easy option. What they're doing right now is the easy thing to where both shows are basically the same, and they just travel to the next city over to do the other show. Sometimes they don't even do that. Sometimes they do it in the same city.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's the same production people, it's the same story writers, it's the same everything. And a lot of the members of the roster will go to the other show too. And so it all just feels like one, homogenous whole between the two brands. And what I would suggest is a stark, clear divide.
But how would that work for premium live events or pay per views?
Well, that is where it would change. I mean, unless you want to bring back the old way of how it was in like 2016 era of
One have
where SmackDown would get a pay-per-view and then Raw would get a pay-per-view, but meet up for the big ones. And when you meet up for the big ones, that's when you do the stadium shows.
I hear you, but I'm also thinking about the costs that are associated with all of that. Hey,
Fuck,
it's a
Saudi's
floating
got
case.
fucking StreamYard hates me. Man, I just spent the last fucking 20 minutes trying to get the fucking into the stupid show and the mic to work.
StreamYard has been extremely sucky for like the past week or two.
Sorry for being late, y'all. I feel like shit, but I'm here. Half awake, half asleep, but I'm here. Don't ask me to defend any of my guys, because this was a shitty list for me because, like, I still wasn't sure where to go. I know that me and Tammy talked about it last week on the watch along about whether this was like spooky or dastardly heels. And I know I asked the thing and CM said both, and I still don't think I quite understood what she meant. And so naturally I went with like all kind of like spooky, culty, evil guys, but those aren't necessarily like the ones that I was thinking of as total like.
You didn't even have Bray Wyatt up there. Or worse, Bo Dallas. I don't know anybody who is more evil than a psychotic, inspirational, motivational speaker.
No, you're right. You're right. And I did. I mean, Bray Wyatt is the Cape Fear Bray Wyatt in the Hawaiian shirts and the hat was on my list. He was at like 6. So I just, again, I didn't think he was spooky enough. And for some reason, that was what was stuck in my head. So
What's your take on this WWE thing?
Holy fucking shit. Yeah, welcome in 2023. I don't know. This is very interesting. I I don't hope. I mean, I hope that they didn't really sell to Saudi. I mean, I'm not interested in Saudi being owners of WWE. Although I guess if all they're going to do is take it private and try to leave everything intact, then I guess it is what it is. Except that then we get Vince back. I assume that will be one of the big points, which I obviously don't want. Am I upset about Stephanie stepping down? Not terribly. I've never been a huge Stephanie McMahon fan, so I mean, it's not like I'm horribly, and I don't know that. I don't know what she does in the back and how good she is at doing it. So I mean, it is what it is. I think it's really weird. I think it's an indication clearly of how far apart her and her dad are and where they think the company should be. Um, it's very weird. I'm here for it. I'm here to see what happens. I'm all in for the chaos.
I just find it kind of funny. Everybody is trying to make Stephanie out to be like so innocent and everything. And it's like she is definitely Vince's daughter. Like she would definitely use any information that she could gather on her dad to
No doubt.
progress her own career, which begs the question: how bad is it?
No, that for sure, 100%.
Leaving rather
Yeah.
than just dealing with it.
Yeah, because she's hung around through a lot of bullshit. So, like, for her to leave, like, there's got to be something going on there for sure.
Another thing I'd like to point out is that although the vote for Vince was unanimous, two people did step down.
Yeah.
Well, she had also left, like she resigned, and then they voted, which
Yeah.
makes me wonder, like, is Triple H on the board or no?
Yes. It was only unanimous after they removed two other people and brought back Vince's two other cronies, too, to vote yes.
But going back to, like, Triple H, Nick Khan, neither of them said no. Like, your wife just quits a company she's been working at, like, her whole life, and you vote for her dad to take his role back?
Well, it was probably a situation of everybody would vote the one way. What is he going to do? Be the one dissenter?
Well, yeah, and you don't. And if you want to try to keep your job, you don't want to be the one dissenter. You don't want to be the one that voted against Vince when he gets voted back in. Like,
y'all really think he gonna let that company is going back private, and Vince is gonna fire Nick Khan, Triple H, Shawn.
Triple H has done a good job. Shawn's finally catching his footing. I feel
it doesn't matter. They switched up on Vince.
Yeah, they fucked Vince.
Damn petty.
Vince doesn't forget.
People for sneezing.
I was looking through some lists of most evil WWE characters for this list here, just to kind of remind myself of people, and Vince was number one on like 7 lists of the most evil person ever wrestling. So I mean,
if someone tells you I am a narcissist, I am an egomaniac, I am a sociopath, do you not believe them?
Right? Hey, you.
Like I guess for me there's levels to this. So it's like in the Bible they say like even the evil give their kids great riches. I guess so. How evil is Vince McMahon? You can't give Stephanie WWE. You 78-year-old.
Yeah, like your dad gave it to you. Like, why can't you just give it to your kids?
Whoa. No, we are not going to repeat that lie. Because anybody who says that, it's a damn lie. That Vince almost drove his dad out of business. His dad had to sell to him.
Like that's a
damn petty.
That's a whole nother 30 for 30 that needs to happen, because even then his dad was like, I don't want to overdo, like take over all of wrestling. I want to be just still territories. And Vince was like, nope, we want to take care of everything. It's like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
If the man who's telling you this wasn't actively involved in your life for majority of your life, would you listen?
Granted, yeah. Now, yeah, but you know what? On that note, ah, I was gonna say something, but it's like it's like this whole thing just It's like okay, okay. So I'll just say my words out, and maybe you'll string along some thoughts. So like you said, he hasn't raised him, right? So I get trying to make amends, but you gotta be smart, homie. How did you let your son do this to you? Well, how you let your son take over the business like this?
Because Vince is a sociopath.
It's say what you want. I do respect the notion of that. No matter what, he had a key to being in control. He's like, all right, we have a board, but I will have more stock than anybody, just in case. I do respect that, because you see that a whole lot of times where the founder of a company gets overthrown. I'm like, that be throwing my mind sometimes. I'm like,
The funniest shit ever would be if Saudi just up and says, "You know what? We want Shane in charge."
I mean,
I feel like
the
Shane
greatest
would come out
wrestler in
doing
the
the Shadow
world.
Max show, so just laughing.
Because Vince has sold the company. Like, if Saudi wants that, he can't say no.
I mean, the best in the world. But
And
like,
that would be the sweetest twist to this whole escapade.
I don't know.
Or if they sold it to Shane.
Well, they would have to do it for pennies on the dollar.
Oh, they could.
He can make
But
payments.
why would they?
He can make payments. He can put 5 on it every month.
Because then he could be like, hey, we'll do X, Y, and Z. We'll allow this talent to come over. We'll do this. We'll do that. There's so many underground secret, like different deals that businesses have done that it's not even funny. Like, look at Walmart. They sell the same brand of things with like 4 different labels,
Right?
from $1 up to like 10.
Equate.
You could do anything. And that's
Now it's
Walmart.
something fresh. It's like, but honestly, my heart goes out to Stephanie. If anyone saw the Evil series and they did her, like, yes, let me say it. If you see the Evil series, right, and they go towards the end of it where they're like, basically, this is Succession. This family is just a big behind episode of Succession, and it was just one thing where she was like with that series, like, you don't know what's real and what's fake, and they got to the part where she was like, I'm a female, and I did feel as though I had to work harder than Shane, even though I've been here and Shane left. And she was, and like, in her mind, like, I saw it in her eyes where it's like, okay, is this true? Where basically it was like, what's the difference between me and Shane? What's the difference? Basically, like, we both grew up here. We both love the business. We both work from the ground up. He left. I'm here. But for some reason, I still don't get the respect that I deserve. So in that part, I'm like,
the respect.
I'm sorry.
I don't feel like Shane really got respect.
Shane didn't get respect. And also, the disrespect doesn't come from not working hard. We know she works hard. We know she tries her best, even though it gives us, John Cena's. However, it's the whole, like, China thing and how they handle that and how they continue to handle that. Like, you go out, you're a woman, you cannot tell her side. She reaches out for help. You do nothing to help her. You go back and lie on her name. You do all of this stuff. And then when she dies, then you want to admit the truth. Like, no, Stephanie. Like, no, Paul. Like, that's not what we're going to do.
But that needs to be a documentary. How many freaking affairs WWE freaking...
And that was my concern about what Sammy was saying about WWE having like a true brand split and like some going off to Europe or like to the world. some of the stuff I've heard about behind the scenes, I feel like some people would end up in jail. And not the good jails. Or
Man,
the babies popping up for the dad storylines in like 20 years.
It doesn't matter if you can buy the police.
So
GB
like,
Snooker.
hey,
They
and
got
she,
that Saudi money now.
but could they? Because don't like a lot of countries kind of like ban Saudi Arabian stuff or like limit it?
You tell me.
I
I
believe that
think
that
it was
is
like
true.
a NATO warning or something.
I believe that's true, and I worry about like if Saudi's in control, what does that mean for women's wrestling? What does that mean for just
Hmm.
WWE overall and their
That
production and how it's going to come across? All those kind of things, like
Women, LGBT,
yeah, all that stuff, all of that
So,
stuff.
shit, everybody just
well, if you
are we close to them? Like, are we just talking out of our mouths, or is it close to being a done deal starting buying WWE? Because, like, the whole
allegedly the deal has not been signed, but it looks like this is what's happening.
oh my god, no. Low key, I think I said by the Prince in 2012. I'm gonna tell you. No, I'm telling you this. I'm telling you the story real quick. So we went to WrestleMania 28, right? It's a whole line of Middle Eastern people, and it was this one dude who didn't move, didn't do nothing. The whole Hell in a Cell match didn't chant, didn't shout. John Cena versus Brock didn't move, didn't do jack. Me and my dad were to the point of, okay, if something pop off, he's over the ledge. We just gotta push him. We just gotta like it literally was like. So I'm like, nothing. I'm back. I'm like, was he the prince's bodyguard? Because like literally, he did not move. Everyone else was cheering. He was just stone faced. Just like, oh, okay, just tell me something before something pop up. So me and my dad can get away. Just tell me before something pop up.
now when you see him move quickly, that's when you know.
When he moves, he moves. Just like that.
Amen. Amen.
Like, that's hilarious to think about that. I'm like, did we just sit? Who's we sitting by? Okay, fine. Okay, continue on.
And if the Saudis buy it and it goes private, then I think we're really in for a whirlwind of shit because they have no one telling them anything. There's no oversight. There's no accountability in any way, shape, or form. Not the shareholders of the end all or even a board, but at least it's something.
I'm thinking of them like hosting shows for the United Arab Emirates, and like I see them being able to make a lot of profit.
I see a whole lot of people getting ready to leave.
Well, yeah, I see that too.
Like, honestly, like, I really don't see what is stopping Triple H and HBK and now William Regal and Stephanie. Like, just do your own, just buy someone. Well, I was gonna start your own company, but that'd probably take too long. Like, just buy MLW or someone like that.
Oh.
Just start your own company. Just
William
do it.
Regal. Oh, William Regal.
I
Oh,
wasn't gonna say it, but
oh.
you know Miro.
I just realized.
Miro and Andrade are sitting over there like, "Hey, big head, how you doing?" Or doing the future text. I saw that Saudi Arabia bought WWE and it reminded me of the sands of time that just fell in the hourglass of our lives. Like, and I just wanted to make sure that you were okay. And I just wanted to talk to you for a minute. So about that storyline that you had for me, what's up with that though?
All right. So Anika, you want to give us your 5, 4, and 3?
5, 4, and 3. Greatest villains. Okay,
You can't say best man for all of them. It's like, hold on.
It's just best man. Okay. I want to give. Okay, we haven't got the 2 yet. 5, 4, and 3. 5, 4, and 3. 5, 4, and 3. 5, 4, and 3. Like right now, I just have one, but he's really number 2. Did ALW go yet? Or
We've been giving kids as we go along because he wasn't supposed to pop on.
oh, okay. So best villains that piss me off and I can't stand them.
You said Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, no, I did not because he wasn't the villain.
He's a
Thank you, Anika.
No, he
Thank you, Anika. Don't let that blasphemous CM say anything bad about our boy.
Had he not fired Mandy Rose, we wouldn't be here.
So, you know what? Well, we not gonna do. I am in her bag, but if they gave her a choice, she said no.
If he had just let Vince keep seeing her ass and titties, it would have been perfect.
Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, Hell in a Cell. I was rooting for Undertaker. I'm just saying.
Ain't no one said nothing about that. I don't even know why that's perfect.
Yeah, right. Nobody even asked you.
Why is that part of the conversation, dude? You know what?
So I remember Shawn Michaels and God versus Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon.
We're not. My guy has a sense of humor, and I think he was laughing his behind off when he was like, "What is this old ninja doing? Did he really just shoot off pyro and ask me? This is dumb."
He said, "I'm just gonna let Vince keep living forever because I don't want to see his ass."
Okay. So one is Brock Lesnar, 2003, when he was just rubbing, when he was going to, when it was him versus Taker, and he was just this dude just stalking people. I'm just, what is wrong with you? But like going against Stephanie, I'm like, you know, she a female and your boss, right? What is
was that the first time we heard Brock talk?
I think so, and it was just like, oh, where's the police?
That's when I stopped being scared of Brock Lesnar when he talked.
Right.
You know, I'm just gonna state an observation here, and I feel like it's, you know, kind of common sense, but man, people really do be living their lives differently when they just accept that they're going to hell at the end of it.
Where did that go?
On that note, I'll be back. Wait a minute. There's the tagline so far, 2023. You live your life different when you know you're going to hell.
Sammy has broke the stream.
Oh my god, that was perfect. Oh my god. I don't even know how we come back from that.
Can you come back from that?
When y'all ready to give number 2, tell me, because I don't even have 4 and 5.
You want to say give our number 2s?
Yeah, just go give me number 2. I don't have 2. I'm gonna give up. And I have a 2, so just y'all go ahead with number 2.
So I'm gonna revise mine.
Okay.
I'm gonna revise mine. My number 2 is Ted DiBiase, just because he was the worst heel in the time that he was a heel. When he kicked that basketball from that kid that was dribbling the ball, trying to get that money, all those little vignettes, all those times, I hated that guy so fucking much, dude. He was like the heelest of the heels, dude. So he's my number 2 worst villain.
That's a good pick. I feel that.
Who you got, Sammy?
CM?
CM?
Oh.
Doesn't matter.
Well, I didn't know if CM had a comment on your pick or not.
I wanted to jump through the TV and beat up Ted DiBiase.
Right?
I was like, how dare you? And then when I would rewatch it, I was like, how dare you? That's when I realized, like, people ain't shit. I was just like, you're a fucking asshole. He's a child. Yeah.
All right. My number 2?
Mm-hmm.
I have the devil's favorite son-in-law.
Triple H?
Triple H, yeah. Bow down to the king. NXT.
Did you just call
Suck it.
The devil?
Yeah,
Did you just call Vince or Linda the devil?
yeah. I called Vince the devil. That's the way that Bray Wyatt portrays him in the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. You can't argue with Triple H being on this list. I mean, he's definitely one of the biggest heels in the history of WWE for sure.
And some of the antics that he got up to is just like,
Oh yeah, no, I mean
ooh.
DH. With him and Shawn as the leaders, DH ran havoc over WWE for a while, and
Like
yeah,
if you write down everything Triple H did, like that's life in prison.
yeah, and in life he's a real heel because he married a fucking douchebag's daughter for money and fucking power, and yeah, I mean,
He played the
I
long
wasn't even
game and
talking
lost.
about that. But
He literally played the long game and he still lost. Like, yeah, sure, Paul, you'll be the head of WWE when I retire.
yeah, right, unreal.
he gave it to him for 6 months.
Why should we expect anything different from Vince at this point? Like, I'm still like, wow, this is happening, but at the same time, it's like none of this should surprise us or anybody. Like, this is just classic Vince, right? This is right in his
Mhm.
wheelhouse. Like,
It ain't over yet. This is
oh no,
just
of course not. This is just the beginning.
this might not even be half the story.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh God, how Tuesday? How the fuck do you make Tuesday?
Man, to all those
Talk
people
like
who are
this.
currently making Vince McMahon documentaries, your life has to be hell right now.
Like they have to be like the people who are doing what is it, the Flash movie? Yeah, it's
Mm.
completed. Wait, what do I have to go back and edit? Okay. Come back later. Yay, it's good. So I have to put that back in.
They're praying, Vince, can you just stop doing anything for like 5 minutes so that we can finish this movie? And then we'll start another one. But come the fuck on, like.
Because I know that Netflix is doing one, and I think Vice is doing one.
Interesting.
We'll figure out how those go when they finally come out.
Who you got at number 2, CM?
I have Raven at number 2.
Ooh.
What about me? What about Raven?
You have that. You have him basically using his flock to manipulate David Flair. You have just like all the little shit that he's done over the years. Just because he wanted to. And
Yep.
just because he could.
No
Gotta
doubt.
love Raven.
That's a great pick. I have no comments on that other than I used to love Raven.
I still love him.
He's extremely out of shape now.
It'll be alright.
Last time I saw him on TV, he was enjoying his dad body for sure. It doesn't look like we have Anika anymore, huh? So we don't know her.
Sherry told us her number 1, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So I guess
I
we'll
think
start.
me and CM have the same number 1.
Well, I changed mine. I'm changing mine to Vince. So I'm going with Vince as number 1.
You have a match with God. You automatically the biggest.
Force your father out of his own company.
Yeah.
And then
dangle it as a carrot in front of your kids and then sell it.
And force your kids out of it too.
Yeah.
You have multiple desires to have an incest storyline with your daughter.
Yep. Yeah, here's the thing. Like, we could talk.
But you have to also keep in mind that that's like the most popular porn in America today.
No. That's the stepmom, stepson. That's
Oh
entirely different from bio dad, bio daughter.
I
all of it's
know.
wrong.
I don't really even watch porn, so.
All of it is wrong. Here's my thing though. Like Anika was saying, that she feels bad for Stephanie. I don't feel bad for anybody that has
Mhm.
been behind the scenes co-signing Vince's bullshit for all these years. She kept that job. She kept cashing that paycheck at any time. She could have separated herself from her piece of shit father. She's a piece of shit. Triple H is a piece of shit. They're all pieces of shit. I guess it's fitting that they sell it to a piece of shit country like Saudi Arabia. I mean, I don't,
Mm, let's not
right?
call the country a piece of shit. The
The
government.
government of Saudi Arabia a piece of shit. Whoever it is, the people making the decisions over there. I mean, I guess it seems fitting. So,
And
What
going
government?
along
What
with that,
government isn't a piece of shit though?
well, there is that. There is that. Some are worse than others, of course. But
Some are
but
worse than others.
when you think about it and remember that some of the women who have spoken out against Vince said they went to Stephanie.
mhm, no doubt. Oh, no doubt. No
And
doubt.
that's even worse. Like,
You know what your dad is like. Don't act like you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me a break.
she's been a part of the storyline with
That's what
her
I'm saying.
dad.
Like,
Child. I'm
so
glad she
Vince is
got to
so
go
Vince
before.
is our number one unanimous overall most
Well,
evil
no,
person. Oh no,
Th-
Anika had
Anika had Brock.
yeah,
Anika had Brock.
had
That's
Brock.
that's right.
Think of all the stories that are never going to be told too.
Oh
Like
yeah,
we've heard some doozies like Snuka.
yeah.
Like
Flair doesn't even. Yeah, none of those even scratch the surface. I bet. I mean, I'm sure none of those scratch the surface.
Oh, oh. Vince is just like, y'all thought you had me, but
Fuck,
you didn't.
unbelievable.
I don't
Just
know.
unfucking believable.
But is it, or is
Just
it
the
not
balls
completely?
on the guy are just like they're like fucking the size of boulders, dude. He just doesn't give a fuck. He
I
just
mean, when the
doesn't care.
Supreme Court can't take you down,
No wonder he likes. No wonder he and Trump are friends. They're the same fucking person. They
Vince
act the
has some
same
redeemable
mm,
fucking way.
qualities, and Vince actually does have the money he says he has.
Well,
So
there
there's
is that.
two
There is
differences.
that.
Like he's we can see that he's human. I'm not sure about
Maybe.
Trump.
I'm I think Trump might actually be more decent of a human than Vince.
They're both steaming piles of dog shit, so it doesn't really matter.
Donald
Fair enough.
Trump, who found a way to get rid of all the black people in his building, stuff Donald Trump.
Yeah.
This is racist as shit, but he ain't never kicked nobody like up out of their house. He's never been a landlord, but he's never
Well,
kicked
yeah,
nobody.
exactly. I mean, you can't tell me if he wasn't a landlord, he wouldn't have all white tenants.
He had his ex-wife buried on his golf course so he could get a tax deduction.
Yeah, Vince had grown men kissing his ass on TV.
Kissing ass is bad. Burying your ex-wife on your golf course to get a tax deduction might be a level of evil.
He cheated on his wife while she was in a wheelchair and couldn't talk for a storyline.
For a storyline.
For a storyline.
He married
He wanted to have a storyline where he was having an affair with his daughter. And Trump said his daughter was hot, and if he wasn't, if she wasn't his daughter, he would date her.
He groped his daughter on international
Oh
news.
my god.
At least Vince has never been accused of the thing that Trump has been accused of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I guess we're probably preaching to the choir. They're both terrible fucking people. It doesn't matter.
But like in hierarchy of evil, it's like Donald Trump, and then there's like a little space,
A little space between him and Vince.
and then there's Vince. It's not a lot, but it's just like burying your ex-wife on your golf course is a little bit more evil than somebody kissing your butt. And then you had to kiss Rikishi's butt, and he was not always known to, keep it fresh. Like you, so
Oh man.
It was also that way with Mick Foley's sock, wasn't it?
I prefer not to think about that.
Joey Ryan's lollipop.
The pubes. Oh, the pubes. Oh.
So we've hit number one. What's next? CM's clown of the week.
Well,
Have a clown of the week.
Hold on.
we're the clowns of the week.
I'm not, because I don't watch WWE unless we're doing a stream.
I'm the clown of the week because for a minute I bought in that Triple H is running the company and things are going decent.
I told you. I told all of y'all. People stood me down. Matter of fact, I do have a clown of the week. All the people who stood me down that I was wrong about Vince and that Class B stuff and him having the authority to do whatever he wanted to do at any point he wanted to do it. I told you so. I told you what he was going to do.
Yep.
Nobody ever listened.
I didn't say you were wrong. I was just saying I'm hoping he's just in it to have a title next to his name and a paycheck. That's my hope.
Called himself a narcissistic, egomaniac, sociopath. The man, you ever seen American Psycho?
Mm-hmm.
Or Devil's Advocate?
Mm-hmm. Both.
Vince. Those are Vince. Not the advocate, the devil. In the whole situation.
100%.
If Vince was not in the wrestling business, I fully believe we would be reading about Vince on America's Most Wanted. He'd have a cult. Not like the Jared Leto cult where, they have the island and they're not
no, like the David Koresh cult.
Super creepy. Like a Scientologist type situation.
Where they give a stipend every month to the church.
To the Church of McMahon.
I was thinking about every week. And they all have like altars to Vince where they bow down to him and chant his name and shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what we would be seeing from Vince McMahon. And we would have surviving Vince's cult.
Why do the good die young and the assholes live forever?
Because evil never dies.
No matter how you clean it, an asshole's going to be an asshole.
A pig with lipstick. We could make a pig with lipstick work too, We really could. So we've decided Vince is evil, but he's slightly less evil than Donald Trump.
I was on the opposite end. I had Vince slightly more evil.
In the grand scheme of wrestling?
Just in life.
In life? Okay, yeah, in life. In life. I get that. In life.
Burying your ex-wife on your golf course is more evil than having grown men kiss your butt. For a tax deduction. So he could claim that it was a graveyard, and he's already had parts of it sectioned off to be farmland.
Yeah, and to be fair, Vince has never started a government insurrection, so he might have wanted to, but he hasn't.
Okay. So, question: is there a tombstone on the graveyard, or is this whole? Is this nine? She don't like whole 9?
I think the tombstone is there. At one point, it was not there.
It's buried under hole number 9.
It had like a marker, but it didn't have like the marker.
It's on his Mar-a-Lago golf course under number 9, hole number 9.
Number B. Okay.
You can play golf on her dead body.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just think about that. You can go play golf with his ex-wife.
This guy wasn't our president. Like, what the fuck?
No, he wasn't. Those years don't exist.
Those years don't exist?
I don't remember that. The only thing I remember is
disappearance.
There was like some weird
Time
insurrection
vortex.
situation that happened January like
And
6th.
Just like
I,
And
I'm
Chris
gonna be
Shirk was
honest.
there.
I'm gonna be honest. He's probably gonna be president again.
don't say that, Sammy. Why would you say
The
that?
Republicans are rapidly turning on him. So I don't know. Although
I
with
mean,
this,
I want
it
to say
does
you're
come from
wrong, but I
whoever.
said that the first time and I was wrong. So
I remember that like that night is like that night embedded in my memory where it's like, okay, election night. I went to sleep. I wake up. Oh, it's tied. I'm going to sleep. Oh, couldn't leave.
I, I'm
Okay. But sleep.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all.
As the Trumpers are starting to see what has happened with their taxes and their tax money because of his tax breaks that he gave to the richer people and the inflation, they're a little bit pissed because they can't buy as many bullets as they want. So
The difference between now and 2016 is we're not gonna give him we're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. It's not gonna be like,
yeah,
oh,
we
he'll
know
just
now.
gonna
We know
oh,
let
now.
it slide.
we are
This
not
then just not gonna
putting a Hillary or Joe Biden up against that one. We got lucky
like
once.
we will if he tries to do this again, we're going to be better prepared. It's not going to be
Yeah.
like, oh, who's going to
Well,
vote for
and the
the
first
orange
time, I
man?
know a lot of people that the first time that are not political that voted for Trump that don't normally vote because he was they felt like he was a fuck you to the system, and now they've seen what he ended up doing, and they're not going to vote for him again. Not those people, anyhow.
To
What
those
if
people.
what if Vince like were to run for something
Oh
in
hell
government?
no!
We said the
Not
same about Trump.
like,
What?
well,
The
you
governor
saw,
of Connecticut? Who cares? It's Connecticut.
No, something higher up. I could see him trying to get into the Senate, the House. I could see him trying to get into Congress.
Do you
Or
think that Linda's failed attempts has any impact on his desire? Because it's not him, but it's a McMahon, and she failed. I mean,
I think to a certain extent, but I also think that with the moves that he has made, the people that he has networked and gotten information on, he stands a better chance than she ever did. Because one, she's a woman. Two,
oh
she's
no,
old. Three, she's willingly staying with a man who's cheating on her and she knows.
yeah,
Whereas he's cheating on his wife and she knows and accepts it. He's getting all this money. He has these deals with these networks and this entire government that could like give him oil, give him new resources. And he is just that egotistical to do it.
all right, let's stop
like,
putting that out there.
right? No, like low key, when you said that, my thought was, let him have it. Just just get him out of my WWE. Like literally, it was like, let him have government. You already know government's evil, and just give me back my WWE. That's honestly where my mind just went.
Yeah, I mean, if indeed they're selling the WWE to the Saudi Arabian government, I'm very concerned about the future of WWE, what it's going to look like.
Folks have said like all the content, all the library of WWE and the Saudis having that.
Yep. No.
Vince.
Fucking Vince. Unbelievable.
I don't have anything else. I
It's
don't.
the
I don't
He's a
either.
freaking
I need to go back to
Terminator,
bed. I know
dude.
that.
I'm gonna wrap us on up.
Okay. All right. My
Go
number
ahead.
2,
No. Go ahead.
Ministry of Darkness Taker.
Oh,
Like, oh my, like that, like literally, he scared the bejesus. Like, I don't know what happened between 1998 and 1999, but that freaked me the freak out. And then like, so my dad let me watch wrestling and then go to bed, right? So that whole crucifying Stone Cold, and that's the last image. All right, good night, Stacy. Wait, Anika, wait.
Is that bad that that was like my favorite version of Taker?
Me too.
You know, you said
That's amazing.
bejesus, and I've heard bejesus so much, but like the image in my head that just appeared for the first time ever was a bejeweled Jesus. And I had to share that mental image with the
Oh
rest
my
of you.
god. The way your brain works sometimes is just
Oh,
hysterical.
like, does he have a? Is it bejeweled on his face too?
Well,
Bejeweled on
I
his
was
face.
thinking that it's not like him. It's just like a image of Jesus, and it's just all bejeweled gems making the
Is it
Jesus.
not
the
even
one where he
Jesus.
looks all tranquil, or is it like where's your
Like,
bejeweled Jesus
imagine
look like?
I'm thinking
Ice
it's more of when you see Jesus in your toast. Like the bejeweled is there, and it's Jesus. It's just
Oh man. All right. On that note, Miss
Sammy,
CM.
on that note.
whatever you're on, I want
Right, you
some.
need to share it with the group.
Your
Goddamn, quit
word
holding out.
association here is a bejeweled Jesus. You know, there is no better way to end than
No
somebody
better
living
way.
their life when they've accepted they're going to hell and a bejeweled Jesus. I don't think we can get any better. Thank you,
Can't get
Sammy.
no better than
On
that.
a very dark day, we appreciate you, Sammy. We
he got that
appreciate you.
bling. He got that bling.
Like, is he bejeweled? You know what? Um, like, is his hair bejeweled? Like,
Uh,
okay.
uh,
So, you can find us every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern here for the cookout. Um, hopefully next week, the wrestling world has not gone fucking insane in a span of like 3 hours. You can also find us on Fridays for starting at 8 p.m. Eastern for SmackDown. Then we transition at 10 p.m. Eastern to AEW Rampage. Both are live watch alongs. We also drop a lesser seen wrestling affiliated and wrestling shows um, brand called Under the Radar, and that drops at 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays. And of course, we are here for watch alongs for WWE, AEW, GCW, and a plethora of other things. If you would like to hang out with us more, please feel free to drop comment in the well, in the likes. Drop a comment down below about what we could watch. Give us ideas for the cookout, or just tell us how much you love us because we love you too. Please give us a like, share, subscribe. We are on Facebook. Join our group. We are on Twitter when it's not insane. We will see you next time, and hopefully we have a picture of Bejeweled Jesus when it happens. Right?
peace,
Until
y'all.
then,
Bye.
The
peace.
Jesus.